Hallo und herzlich willkommen zum Podcast direkt aus Amsterdam. Wir sind da am 4me's Connect24 Event. Das ist ein Kongress, wo Anwender und Partner über die ganze Welt sich da in Amsterdam treffen. Mein Name ist Edo Bezemer, ich bin Geschäftsführer von xamplo AG, die Spezialisten im Bereich Enterprise Service Management in der Schweiz. Ich habe eine wahnsinnige Freude, dass ich heute den neuen Chief Product Officer, den Phil Christianson, interviewen darf. Phil, thank you for coming. Welcome to this interview.
Thank you.
Phil, can you say something about yourself briefly that led you to this role as Chief Product Officer?
Thanks for having me here. Thanks for joining Connect. It's been an incredible couple of days. Yeah, I'm Phil Christianson. I just joined 4me just 2.5 months ago, so I'm new to the organization, but I've been in product management for almost 15 years at this point. I spent a bunch of time in consulting and then eventually made it into an enterprise software company, similar in size, a little larger than 4me, where it really got to hone my skills as a product manager, building out an iPad app, and we were moving from on-premise to the cloud, so a lot of the same things that you see here, only obviously we're cloud first, so I don't have to go through that again. Eventually I made my way to, after living in India for 2 years, ramping up an R&D center.
Interesting.
It was an incredible couple of years. I came back to the US and joined Wayfair. Wayfair is a large e-com company actually based out of, they have a large presence in Germany, as well as United Kingdom and in America. And there I was head of pricing, so all the numbers that you saw on site were calculated through a platform that I owned. We also did a huge amount of web scraping to figure out what our competitors were doing and layer that into our algorithm for how we wanted to price. So anyway, that's a long way of saying that I've been doing this product management thing for a while. You know, I think I came up through what we call pragmatic marketing in the US, which sort of trains product managers about how to be problem focused and impact focused. Learned a lot about being a data-driven product manager at Wayfair, and all led me here. So something of a new domain for me in the ITSM, ESM space, but a very similar R&D environment that I've used in the past.
So now you've been working as CPO for 3.5 months.
Yeah.
So what has the biggest impression you got from 4me in terms of collaboration, spirit, corporate culture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that a couple things. I did a number of trips through Europe. Just a lot of our customers are here to meet them and to understand them and meet the partners and meet the employees that we have here. A lot of our R&D team is in the Netherlands. And I think a couple key takeaways for me is I was amazed by the vibrancy and sort of happiness of the customer base. Our customers are, I think it's rare in enterprise software to see customers as happy as 4me customers. I mean that truly. Like I keep asking the CSMs to take me to an upset customer because I want to hear that feedback also. And I don't know if I've had it yet, which is rare. So that's one. It's a very vibrant, very happy, satisfied customer base that really likes working in our software, which is neat to be a part of. I think the second main takeaway that I've had is that the software, what the R&D team has built over the last decade, it works really well. It is stable, it's fast. Our customers, are not ever dealing with outages. We have 100% uptime. It is, again, somewhat rare. We were cloud native. It was born in the cloud. I think that's a big part of it. That was ahead of its time a decade ago when Lawrence and the team built it that way, and that's really coming to fruition now with what we can provide to our customers. I said this on stage yesterday, but I've never been a part of a company where there aren't, maybe bi-monthly fire drills. So, something goes crazy and everyone's all hands on deck to figure out what's happening. There hasn't been one yet for me here in the last 2.5 months. So that already tells me something's different about the technology platform.
So you mentioned actually the customer, you mentioned just before the technical stability. What's about the culture? What's about the employees, the spirit?
Yeah, I think that, I guess that's a good third thing I'll throw out there, and that is that it's an exciting time to be a part of 4me. I think that there's the foundation that the team has built, the founders built over the last decade, has really set them up for this next moment of growth. And I think there's a lot of energy that's being brought to that. We have a bunch of new energy that's coming in the US. We've hired sales teams and customer service teams in the US, engineers in the US. we're bringing a new vibrancy and a new energy to it. And it's palpable. Like you can feel it when you go. We have an Austin office now, and we have a California office. You can feel it in the offices. People are excited to be here. They know that 2024 is going to be our best year ever. And it's not every company is like that into the current economy, right? There's a lot of companies that are not experiencing that kind of growth. So it's neat to be in a growth company, and you can feel the energy from the employees.
Phil, yesterday you had a keynote on stage, and it was very interesting to listen to, and I was very impressed about the commitment you made. You said within the next 12 months that there are so many features are going to be released, deployed, to actually support the vision and strategy of 4me. But how can you be that sure that you can release all these features to hold actually a commitment?
Yeah. In fact, before I got on stage, the CTO threatened to pull me off the stage with a hook if I made too many commitments. No, he didn't do that. But I think that every engineering team is always nervous when a product manager starts talking about roadmaps and starts making commitments. I think that's sort of like the par for the course in R&D. And I've been in that environment for a long time, and I try very hard with my roadmap presentations to talk mostly thematic. I think there are some key thematic areas for us of focus: AI, integrations, user experience. These are 3 key areas that we're going to focus in the coming period of time. And I'm very confident that we'll have an impact in those 3 areas. Now, exactly how that impact takes form, whether it's a new UI here, a new UI there, an integration with Power BI, an integration with Logic Monitor, I think that'll develop as we get further into this. So I think there's certainly room within those themes for different types of advancement. What I can confidently tell you is we will make progress on all 3 of those themes in the next year.
Okay.
And I'd also throw out there that, back to some of the stuff I was saying initially, we don't have a very large engineering team, but we have an extremely talented engineering team. They are all very senior. What they've done, they've all been doing it for a long time. In the U.S., we talk a lot about shifting left and making sure your engineers know what the business impact is of what you're building. This team all has that. So I think that it's a luxury for a PM to come into a team so talented, truly. And I think by bringing some focus, frankly, to the themes, as I did, it's going to give us even a sharper ability to really nail those things.
Okay, thank you. Why companies should invest in 4me to actually leverage the capabilities of 4me from your perspective?
Yeah, I think that there's a number of key things that about 4me that have a large impact on organizations. And the positioning we've talked a lot about, and I know it'll sort of ripple through a lot of what I have to say, is we really believe that 4me is truly easy to implement, easy to budget for, easy to get your users in and understand the interface. It's complete in that we have all 19 idle practices. We've got ESM capabilities out of the box. We have processes that we have experts have worked on for the last decade, ready to turn on tomorrow for your organization. And it's advanced. We have AI capabilities. We have dynamic UI extensions, automations. So it's a full suite of capabilities that'll very rapidly add value to your organization from a process perspective. You can up-level the types of process that your company is currently doing, whether it's within the IT org or outside of the IT org. It's going to bring that out-of-the-box process that'll allow you to be more productive in the way you execute your business.
Nevertheless, you've said you're going to release 200 features per year, although actually 4me is already complete or completed.
Yeah.
How can you actually commit to that you stay?
We should just stop, I think, is what you're saying.
No, I'm looking forward to each feature, but why then again 200 every year?
Yeah, I think
it's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. I think that I've been using the term that we want to go beyond complete. I think that complete is meaning that there's enough features and functionality here to really go head to head with any other ITSM or ECM capabilities that are out there. But that doesn't mean they can't be better. Like any R&D team, any product leader that stood up here and said their product was done, it would not be telling the truth. I think that there's many areas we can continue to advance. If you look at AI as an example, AI is changing enterprise software dramatically, and it is it's really rapidly happening, even over the last 2 years. The availability from folks like we use AWS Bedrock, the availability of technology and features there is dramatically increasing. And we want to capitalize on that. We want to use those to continue to provide productivity improvements to our customers. So we're going to be looking at where we do things well and how we can do them even better.
Looking beyond today and yesterday, what were the 3 most excited presentations or announcements from your perspective?
Yeah. I think that the themes I talked about in my roadmap presentation, and I won't repeat them all because we've gone through them a couple times, but we're talking a lot about the new AI capabilities. We've released note summaries that are already having a huge productivity impact for our customers. We're going to continue to lean in there with other types of auto classification capabilities. So we'll keep doing more on the AI front. That's exciting. Scott Hutchins, our VP of AI, did a whole session on AI where he sort of really laid out in completely understandable terms, which is rare, I think, in the AI game, how we're using it, why we're using it, and why we're able to really add value so fast. So I think what he's putting together there is going to have a huge impact. So I was very excited by that presentation, and I think what people took away from it. Patrick Bacher is one of the product managers on the team that's helping to drive the engineering team. He put together a fantastic presentation that laid out a bunch of, you mentioned 200 features, he went through about a dozen of them in his presentation and talked about how our customers can use those. In fact, I know my takeaways are one thing, but I really hope that when our customers leave here, they can take a few tips and tricks with them and they can go turn those on in their environments and make our product even more valuable to their organization. That's like my broader hope of when people walk out these doors, they're armed with some things that they didn't know before they came and they can go add value to their organization immediately. And then I think we had a fantastic presentation from the world's most interesting person, Chris Nance, I think his name is, yesterday, which was enlightening. This guy has automated his whole life, so it's a nice connection back to our software and an interesting individual.
Exactly. You said so easy to implement for me in terms of human resources. How much capabilities, how much human resources you should actually allocate to implement for me for a normal IT operation department or company?
Well, it's such a perfect callback to our positioning. Our positioning, as I've described a couple times, that you're going to be hearing more from us in the coming time period, is that we believe that 4me is easy, it's advanced, and it's complete. And what easy means is that you can turn it on, turnkey. I think one of the things that the founders did a fantastic job of here in this software was they limited the amount of settings and the amount of configurations and all the 100 steps to implement. They really reduced it as much as they could to encourage people to use the best practices that were there, but also have flexibility on the edges when necessary to change and adapt for your organization, not to be brittle, but to have those turnkey capabilities so the implementations happen very rapidly. Mm-hmm. So we also have and we haven't talked much about them, we have a whole world of talented partners like yourself that know how to implement the software, that know how to go out and understand requirements from our customers and help walk them through the process of turning on 4me. So I think to specifically answer your question, I don't think there's a single one-size-fits-all answer. I think we see implementations take anywhere from a month to 2, 3 months, but they are rapid compared to our peers.
Yes, sir.
And there's a large amount of available out-of-the-box capabilities to make it go fast.
Okay. Phil, in your role as CPO, how do you foster innovation, creativity among your employees?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that we do a couple things that I think are pretty neat. I haven't gotten to be a part of it yet, but we do Imagineering days here. Some companies call them hackathons. These are, you bring your engineers together, you give them a day off, and then they ask to then write code on their day off. It's what they like to do. But you open up the door and you say, build a piece of functionality you wish we had that you think is exciting. And so that brings energy, it brings new ideas. It really gets people bought into the vision and story of the company. So we do Imagineering days. We try and do them a couple times a year. We also involve the whole team in Connect. So this Connect that's going on right now, we do it annually. There are about 6 different training tracks that are happening. We've got developers teaching training, we've got customer success teams teaching training, we've got product managers doing training sessions. So the whole company comes together to put together this content and make it a powerful event for our customers and our partners. And I think, again, that's sort of, it excites people. It's something different from their day-to-day job that they get to work on, and they really are passionate about it. I saw a lot of really amazing energy going into this conference. So I think those would be two key things. I think maybe more on the product management side, I genuinely believe what really motivates engineers more than anything else, even beyond the fun things I described, is knowing what they're building is having impact and providing value to our customers. There's nothing more empowering than knowing that you just released a feature that added productivity improvements, that made a customer smile, that satisfied a group, a help desk. This is really why I think people are excited to develop software and what motivates engineering teams, and that's what I try and bring to them every day.
Phil, lastly,
yes.
What are the features in the next 6 months for me users and partners can particularly pleased about?
Yeah, going back to some of the themes that I described in the keynote, and I've talked about a little bit already, we have huge investments happening on the AI front. I talked a little about note summaries. I talked about some of the auto classification. We want to have a new virtual agent. So there's a lot happening in that space that I think people can be excited about. On the user experience front, we want to continue to lean into a lot of we've had some really good successes in modernizing parts of our UI. People are loving it. We want to apply that in more places. And we want to go deeper on our integration capabilities. We have had, as I mentioned, it's a cloud native application. We're an API first company. We have had out of the box APIs in multiple different technologies from day one. So integrating with our software couldn't be easier, which is great. We have the technology there. We want to do more when it comes to out of the box capabilities. Again, back to easy. We believe that, as well as sort of the complete side of our positioning, we believe that if we can have more out of the box integrations that people can turn on day one, they're going to be able to integrate beyond IT and do even more within the organization, and really position 4me as that central hub that connects throughout the enterprise.
Phil, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us at Connect.
Thank you too. And it was very nice. It was very interesting to have heard your thoughts, your insights. Thank you very much.